So I just got back. I drove down to Pittsfield or Pittsford or wherever that was down there by Mitchell Tees to do a Toolbox talk with Markowski. Jay at Markowski's invited us to come on down, do a Toolbox talk. So I went all the way down there and got down there, did the talk, came back and found out I forgot to put the microphone on. I never set that microphone going right there. So I wanted, what we're going to do is, we had a group from Markowski's gathered around. We're all social distancing. Matt, show them a picture of the group of people from Markowski's there. We did that. We talked about power line safety. Then there was, of course, Mike. Matt, show them a picture of Mike standing right here with me, right here, kind of talking with me about power line safety or overhead power line safety. And then we talked about a bunch of different things, and one of the big things with power line safety, of course, is knowing where those power lines all are and safely working in and around them, trying to maintain a 10-foot clear zone around those power lines, very important, and identifying who our spotter or monitors are. Always having a monitor. If you can't maintain that 10 feet, get a monitor in there, to a dedicated person to watch where those power lines are going. And then, of course, always mark, let your operators, let your people know. Put some signage out. Matt, right now, grab a picture of that sign there on the barrel and just show us shaking it here in front of you. Get some signs out to identify the overhead hazards and the stuff going on overhead, the unsafe areas. Then, of course, they had a great idea. They used red spray paint to outline across the asphalt or across the dig zone where they consider the unsafe areas are, so we take extra precautions within that area. And then they were quick to say, when you're lifting or moving pipe or anything that's conductive, of course, to always use nylon slings. They're really good at that. And they had the nylon slings running. They were lifting up pipe. I had a bunch of pictures of this stuff, had a bunch of film, but there was no conversation behind it. I was talking with Mike and Tim down there and Jay and the young Markowski boy and a few others, and they were all very upfront with, if we're going to operate safely around these overhead power lines, we got to make sure our operators have a clear line of sight on these power lines, and make sure the sun doesn't blind you to what's overhead there. And if it does, let's get our monitor or let's get our person in there, spotter, to assist us and to have us there working safely. Again, they the signs, overhead power lines, the nylon chokers versus steel or cable chokers, and then of course a lined out area. So I spent the morning there, and of course met with Dave Markowski, spent some time with him, and just spent some time with the guys down there at Markowski. So I really appreciate that. I'm sorry about this. We'll try to do it again, Jay and Tim. We'll try to do it again and get another one out. But Matt, if we could have one more picture of the whole group standing off there to the side, strictly social distancing while we were doing this, I would appreciate that. My last thing is, I want to remind you, and one of the questions Markowski's asked, or one of the guys, I think it was Dan, asked down there at Markowski's, was, do I see the mask going away this season? No, I think throughout this season, and I wouldn't have said it earlier, but throughout the season, the way everything's going, we're going to have to keep the mask up. So don't let your guard down. Keep that mask up. Remember, we got kids going back to school, over 150,000 kids going back to school, over 60,000 kids or students coming into our colleges from out of state. We're going to see some weird spikes around the state, and we got to keep our masks up and keep doing the right thing. And the right thing is stay out of Champlain Farms, Cumberland Farms. Remember, don't get that friggin' COVID hand pumping the coffee. Don't touch yourself. Don't do that. Stay away from COVID hand. Keep your mask up and don't let your guard down. My name's Richard Wobby. I'm here at the Associated General Contractors of Vermont. If we can do anything, if you have any questions, if you'd like me to come to your job site and you can make sure and turn on the microphone, I'd be very happy to. Give me a call here at 802-223-2374. And remember, I'm here for you. Keep your masks up. Don't let your guard down. Thank you all for joining me.